And I like to keep up with very special people, and this young man is a special young man. I'll tell you, inspirational and something. This is something, youngsters, you can look up to this guy. This guy's got it going on, and I'm so proud to have him back in the studio and on the air with me on the Jesse T Show. It's Mr. Marcus Peterson. Yeah, Marcus Peterson. Hoo. Yeah, baby. Gosh, congratulations, man. Congratulations on everything that's gone so good this year for you. Wow.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
I mean, wow. I mean, we got together maybe a little over a year ago. Mm-hmm. You were still in the remnants of your master's degree. Yeah. You were going to finish that up. You were still thinking about starting a business and kind of maybe putting it together. And you were still hustling out there, hitting the gridiron, man, playing some ball all around the world, not just here in America, but in Europe too, right?
Yes, I was actually in London 2016 and latter of this 2017.
Yeah, now, well, I've got to, there are certain things I can talk about and certain things I can't talk about. So he's going to let me know when I can't talk about. The only thing I ask of you, don't tackle me on the 50-yard line, okay? You're just in too physical shape. Look at the shape of this guy, man. Man. I'll tell you, not an ounce of body fat on you. What are you running around with, 6% body fat?
You know, honestly, I don't know. I haven't tested, but I just ate very bad just now.
I did too. I had a Tasty Freeze with dipped in chocolate.
Ooh. Should have saved me some.
I tell you, isn't that true? Hey, so you are actually, you went out this year and you worked real hard over the year, mm-hmm. and you actually made an NFL franchise. You were in training camp, right?
Yes. So
tell me a little bit about that.
So the story about that is, briefly, I was, training hard. I went to the NFL Spring League, mm-hmm. and then I got some interest last year. About midsummer last year, I got a workout with the Chargers, and then
wait a minute, the Los Angeles Chargers?
Los Angeles Chargers. Woo! Got some good news from them, and a year later, they contacted me again in February, and then right before training camp, right before training camp, I was contacted by them again, and then I was signed July 31st, August 1st.
Oh, man, how exciting was that day?
It was crazy because I was literally like laying down, and my agent calls me. And normally he texts me, but when he calls me, that's something super important. So he gave me some good news saying that they weren't ready yet. And about 5 minutes later, the GM called me and said he wanted to bring you in tonight. So literally put all my stuff in the dryer, and I was down there, Irvine.
Oh, man, you were down there in the Flash. You were like the Flash in the movie, man.
Yeah.
I mean, that's every boy's dream that's ever played football, is to be able to suit up in the pads on an NFL anything. I mean, just to have the opportunity, you know what I'm saying?
And it's so surreal because being born and raised here in Los Angeles and representing a Los Angeles team, that's just a dream come true.
Now, all your family and friends can come out and see when you participate in that respect.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what was it like? I mean, I played ball. I played ball in high school, and then got a full ride in college, and then I tried out for the CFL way back before you were born, when Moses was still here, and they were trying to figure out what to do. Noah was trying to figure out what to do on the ark.
I heard Noah and Moses did a good job on me.
They did. They did a good job on me, man. Yeah, one took me high, one took me low. Hey, man, but tough guy here, right? But so, we can talk football all day long because I love the game. The game has changed quite a bit since I played. The last time I put on a uniform was in 1983, 1984. So the game has really changed, and a lot of things have changed. But what hasn't changed are some of the fitness of the game, the speed, the strength, the power, the intelligence. I mean, was going from the level in England, playing at that level, which is a high level because that was developed all by the NFL, right? The European leagues were all part of that expansion.
Yes, it's really a huge difference, like you said, intelligence, power, speed, physicality. The difference I seen was, because I've kind of been around that in that facility,
right,
with kind of those NFL players, NFL quarterbacks for the last 3 or 4 years. So, but being in it with professionally and having during in camp and in practice, the speed and the intelligence,
Yeah.
the film watching from the defenders, the professionalism that everyone has.
Right.
It's so surreal because I used to always watch Keenan Allen, some of the NFL receivers, and then to go into the room and everybody sitting there, Phillip Rivers and Melvin Gordon, they kind of all took me under their wing, but it was just really surreal and just a blessing.
They really study. They break those films out. They go over and over and over. They're looking for nuances, aren't they?
Yeah, so literally, it's literally broken down to a science. Angles, as I play receiver, so the certain angles you have to take, the footsteps, timing. So everything is really precise in how football really is because everybody has to be on one accord. All 11 people on the field have to be on one accord.
Yeah, and at that level, which is the greatest level of the planet Earth, at that level, all the guys that are playing at that level are all so very good.
That's the craziest thing. It's like when you get to professional level, it might seem like you have some weaknesses, but literally everyone on defense, everyone on offense was really good. So the competition was very high. You could never, put your foot off the gas because once you do, somebody can pass you up.
Well, when you think about it, like I started when I was in Pop Warner playing at 8, 9 years old, right? Mm-hmm. Then you get into high school and you make the team and you make the varsity team. And then if you're good enough or blessed enough, you get some sort of accolade, some honor, some all league, some all city, something like that. And then you get into college, whether it's a city college or a major university or an NAIA or Division 1, 2, or 3, it doesn't matter. You get into college and then if you're good enough and you don't get injured, you get some sort of accolade, some honors, possibly All-American, et cetera, All-League, whatever. And then the next level to that is those guys go up and some of them get recruited. Many of them don't. Even the ones that make All-Americans don't get recruited, but some of them get recruited to be invited into camp. And so by the time it gets to that level, it's really a sifting process, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a statistic where they say X amount of high school players play college, X amount of college players go to NFL, X amount of NFL, so et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
But the blessing about the whole thing was in college, I always had the talent, but it was kind of more overlooked and kind of I just wasn't able. My college career didn't pan out how I imagined it to be. Right. But I never, gave up. I always believed in myself, of course.
And that's a great story. I want to get into that a little bit because really that's what it takes. We had one of the greatest fighters of all time in yesterday, Benny the Jet Urquidez, multiple world champion. He kickboxing and fighting was his thing. I mean, when in that game, in that arena, when you say Benny the Jet, anywhere in the world, everybody knows who Benny the Jet is. Mm-hmm. And he talks about the heart. It's not so much of anything else because everybody's going to do the training that gets to that level where you're fighting champions all the time in the ring. Yeah, everybody's going to have the training. Everybody's going to have the physical cardiovascular sources. Everybody's going to have the right nutrition, get the right sleep, live the right lifestyle, right? But what some guys have and some guys don't have, it's the heart. And that has a lot to do with it at the level you're at now.
It's literally a lot of factors if you think about it. The heart, the skill, the stick-to-itness, the armadillo skin, the mentality, the intelligence. It's like a lot of factors that go into it.
Right.
Some people might think it's just X's and O's. You put the ball in the touchdown area in the end zone, but it's really a lot more to it than that.
Yeah, and it's such a remarkable story because, like you alluded to, not a lot of cats were really looking at you, even though you were a great player in your youth and in high school and in college. They just weren't looking at you. Why do you think that? Was it because you're a wide receiver and you aren't 6'9"?
6'9",
or whatever. They're 6'4" about average, right?
Now, receivers, like when I went, a lot of the personnel weren't as taught. The tight ends, of course, the quarterbacks, the O-line and D-line were pretty massive.
They're massive.
But other than that, like the safeties and the DBs, it's different now. Like you said, when you played, now it's more of a speed and agility. So a lot of people are getting more speed, and of course with science, speed, the less weight you have, the more speed.
And your agility, the fitness, be able to jump like a gazelle.
Jump, run, catch, acrobatic, everything.
Yeah, because it's like almost like basketball players, the leaping ability that receivers have in the NFL.
Yeah, it's with the facilities and the training and all the things that are necessary to make you a freakish animal is all available to kids now, which is ridiculous.
Are those linemen huge or what?
Yeah, they were like, I don't know, honestly.
Giants, man.
Yeah, like coming out of the womb, giants.
Yeah, I mean they're just huge. And you at one time, back in the 70s and the 80s, the defensive linemen were getting that huge, but they tapered down, and now even the defensive line is about agility and quickness and speed and hand speed and that. But the O line is still the same.
O line's not going to change. Some of the D line tackles are not going to change. Honestly, when I seen Von Miller, he wasn't that big of a guy. He's tall, but he's very slim, but he's so fast, and he can just get through, the bigger old linemen.
Yeah.
So
it's like water, man. Finds that little crevice. Water and air always find a little spot to squeeze into.
Exactly. So that's kind of what the game is alluding to.
Yeah, it is become a fitness game. That's for sure. Absolutely. So now you're having a good time and you're working through the season here. And this is a great stepping stone to what is next. And that is, moving on to the next level of the NFL.
Yes, sir.
In that respect.
It's really a blessing because I didn't start playing until I was in the 10th grade of high school. And
really?
Yeah. So
let's talk about that. I mean, did you have a tough upbringing when you were a kid?
I was always just into basketball. Basketball was
your game.
So
that's where the leaping ability comes from.
Yeah, I think so.
Were you a shooting guard or were you a point guard?
Point guard, shooting guard.
Yeah.
So then everyone, when I was in the middle school, I had the correct height, the perfect height. And then when I got to high school, I went to a really good, basketball high school.
Right.
And everyone was going up to 6'5", 6'6".
Yeah, the giants, the guys with long legs and long arms.
And I stood at 5'11", so.
You were like that one basketball player that was only like, 5'4" or 5'7". I think it's Bibby or way back in the day in the 1970s. He was only like about 5'5" or 5'6", but he could jump twice as high as anybody in terms of his leaping ability.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So basketball was really where you were at.
So basketball was really where I was at. And then the head coach of the basketball team and the football team spoke with me and my best friend. He said, you should come try football.
Uh-huh.
So, I did it to kind of get in shape for basketball.
Right.
But the more I started working out and falling in love with it, the more, I started to play.
What did you like about football over basketball? Was it the contact or what?
Honestly, now that I think about it, I would say playing receiver it's kind of like, well, I think they're all sports are like that. Basketball could be a one-on-one.
Right.
Football could be a one-on-one. So, I don't know, I just started falling in love more with football because I just kept studying and watching it, and that was kind of, becoming my life.
Well, football is definitely a game where you, especially in the position that you play, because you're a receiver. You're out there away from everybody. So it's a team sport, but it's an individual activity within the team sport because you have to be so precise. When you get into the O-line and the D-line, it becomes more of not so much an individual activity, it becomes more of a team activity that works more like a functioning team. In other words, like an iceberg, but you're like that lone iceberg out there. You're a part of it, but it's more individual. So it sort of is like basketball in a lot of ways.
Exactly. On paper and, of course, on the game, it's 11 versus 11.
Yeah.
But everybody has their own responsibility where it's one-on-one.
Right.
Me versus you.
And you're more one-on-one than 10 other or 7 other of the players, the beef of the players. Because like baseball, you're part of a team, but when that ball is hit to you at shortstop, it's just you and the ball.
Exactly.
When the ball is hit to you in right field, you're either going to catch it and throw the guy out or you're going to miss it, right? And so it's a team, but yet it's an individual application in that respect. And that's wonderful. So, I mean, this door is really giving you some opportunities because last year you were still studying for your MBA.
Yeah, so I graduated December 2017. I went back to Europe and London where I got my MBA in global business finance. So that was really good.
Yeah,
really nice.
And you got it in a European school.
Yeah,
or,
so I was in
English
London.
School. Yeah.
It's called the University of Derby in the UK. So it's a very good experience. The best year I've ever had. Honestly.
Yeah. Well, that certainly is what the world's about now. It's a much smaller place, and your degree emphasizes, is that degree a degree that emphasizes on global business or
Yeah, so I graduated with my MBA, Masters of Business in Global Business Finance, which is international business finance.
Have you always been a guy but with numbers? Obviously. I mean,
I wouldn't say necessarily numbers, but business savvy.
Yeah.
As I was doing my undergrad, I kind of started to inherit those traits.
Yeah.
And then when I went into my MBA, it was literally a 180.
Yeah.
So it really beefed up all the aspects of what business really is. And what's good is it was on an international level. So it was not just the American market that I was taught. It was all the other markets.
Well, the world is a small place now, and if you're going to have a business, you got to be global because of social media makes it global, and in that respect, absolutely. But now, who was your inspiration when you were a kid growing up? I mean, who did you look at? Who inspired you with all this great knowledge that's brought you to the terrific man you are today?
Of course, I'd have to say my parents, my mom and dad. But other than that, I think just seeing kind of a certain lifestyle that I wanted.
Right.
And kind of understanding of what it is that needed to be done to achieve that certain success or to achieve those rewards. So I wouldn't say too much when I was younger. I had too many mentors or people I looked up to. I started to get more mentors and more role models during college and during post-college.
Yeah, that kind of stuff happens in college because you start getting around people from other parts of the country, people that have a different experience, especially professors and teachers and counselors and things like that, as well as your peer group. But coming out of L.A., L.A. is a tough spot. It's like it's a tough city to grow up in, and to come out of, especially, I mean, you're in your mid-20s. I would probably guess somewhere in mid-20s.
Yes, 25.
Right. So, I mean, you grew up in a time in Los Angeles when you were a little kid, it was rolling pretty hard in some of those areas, but yet you were able to not become part of that problem, those issues that plague us today. And was that because of your tight parenting that you had?
Yes, I was very blessed and fortunate to grow up and live in a very comfortable environment.
Yeah,
where I was able to stay away from certain distractions.
Right.
Of course, there were distractions of just environment, culture, anywhere in Los Angeles or California, anywhere in the United States.
Yeah.
But I've kind of always because I'm an only child, so I kind of just
right on, man. So am I.
Oh,
yeah, baby. Only children. All right, man. You know what I used to tell my mother? I used to say when my mom was in her, I was in my early 30s, late 20s, and I said. She goes, we wanted to have more kids, and I said, oh, I know, but I fixed it, And she goes, what do you mean? And I said, well, I was a firstborn, and my mother had several miscarriages, like 7, and after me, and she goes, well, yeah, you're the firstborn. I said, yeah, well, I just wrecked all the plumbing coming out. So what'd she do? She smacked me across the head, right?
Oh, no.
Right, the Italian Scottish Italian mother. Boom! I get one, and I'm in my late 20s.
You thought it was a joke, but she thought it was serious.
Right. I was a joke to me. I wrecked the plumbing coming out because I wanted to be an only child. Yeah. I didn't want to share the limelight with nobody, right? And but being an only child, it is a different. You look at the world through a different set of eyes.
Yeah. So literally, you could go left, you can go right.
Right.
Thank God I stayed on the narrow road and went straight.
Well, it's done well for you. Obviously, your athletic career is just starting out. It's funny. You've been doing this your whole life, but yet your athletic career is just starting out.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird?
It's literally a sacrifice that kind of just had to be made. Like you said, going from undergrad here in the U.S. and then chasing my dream to playing overseas and literally just going anywhere on the planet to get that opportunity and get that shot and just, risking and having no regrets. So
yeah, you've gone a roundabout way. It's not a direct line. It's sort of like a pinball in an old pinball machine.
Exactly.
It's kind of boom, boom, boom. Like my daughter and you are absolutely almost identical in how your career. My daughter graduated. She was a she's a professional soccer player.
Mm-hmm.
She's part of the goalkeeping trio of the Chicago Red Stars in NWSL. And this was the first year that she was called up. She's 28. And so out of high school, 31 major D1 colleges wanted her to play. 7 of them gave her full ride scholarships. We picked one, and we went there. It didn't work out. So then she transferred to North Carolina, the state of North Carolina, and it worked out really well for her there. And then nobody wanted her. When she graduated from college, there was no recruiting on the Olympic development team or anything. And she's a fantastic goalkeeper. So she got an offer to go play in Switzerland.
Nice.
For the Swiss national team. And she played there, and then she played in France and Germany and all over Europe, right, for 3 years. And then she came back here, did a lot of private coaching to help, make some money. And she graduated from college, double majored, French foreign language and criminal justice. And now she's at Pepperdine. She's the goalkeeper coach, second year there. And then she played 2 years more here on professional teams. It's sort of like the AAA level of women's soccer. And then they called her up this year and put her in camp, and she made the team, just like you. And she had to go do this roundabout way to get, just like you. You guys are just simultaneously. It's like an identical story. Yeah, so I can totally relate to your journey because my daughter has had the same journey, but that makes that changes you as a person, doesn't it? It's not easy, and how does that affect you in terms of like other guys who just like easy, boom, 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 boom?
Like a story, our receiver coach, he said if he would have just got drafted and went straight to the NFL, then he probably would have made some decisions he would regret.
Right.
But it takes a lot of growing and a lot of maturity. So I'm glad, at this age and this mind frame of mine, now of the maturity that I have, that if I was 21, 22 coming out, I think it's a true blessing. And I know, now, looking back, that I'm glad I went this direction.
Right.
Obtaining my MBA, being able to travel the world, just growing into my own, seeing different things, going into business first, and then coming into these footsteps. So at first, long time ago, I was kind of questioning it, but now looking back, as I understand why I went that way, and I'm thankful that I went that way, and I stayed on the course.
Did you ever question your ability?
Yeah. So everyone has kind of their doubts, their ability.
Is that a natural thing that happens? It's not odd. Is it?
No. So I think everyone does. You can have, the best looking model kind of insecure about their looks. You can have the best singer thinking they can't sing. So It's like everyone kind of has their nervousness or their insecurities or just their questions of their own because of other people's path.
How do you get by that though?
You just have to stay, have self-confidence, stay grounded, stay motivated, self-loving. So everything is really your mindset. Your mind tells you and depicts everything for you. So if you have, self-control over your mind, then you can kind of practice those things.
Is it more like looking at the big picture of what you're doing, or is it more looking at the small picture?
Understanding the process, I think, is it's really, I know it's going this way for me because I have a different plan.
And accepting that process, I think that has a lot to do with it.
A lot of that is accepting the process, and also, like I said, enjoying. So accepting and enjoying as well.
Yeah, you look at you gotta like what you're doing, or why do it?
Or why
especially today, unless you have a family to take care of and you got priorities and obligations, then you do the things you got to do to take care of business. But
exactly.
But in terms of that, and that with your business degree, that's important because business is a lot like athletics and the entertainment industry. Essentially, it's business. Business is business. It doesn't matter what form it comes in. But you just recently started a line of clothing and inspirational thoughts. Tell me a little bit about that. Now, this is your business that you're starting.
Yeah. So I started a motivational apparel brand, basically telling my story. Well, of course, it's wearing your struggle to ignite your success. Meaning, so I have 3 slogans. One I have here on my T-shirt is 100% focus on Plan A. The second one is staying persistent, and the third one is proving yourself right. So I think those are the 3 slogans and methods that I've kind of used for myself to ignite my success. Of course, an explanation, 100% focus on Plan A.
Yeah, tell me about these.
So 100% focus on Plan A, basically, for myself, and anybody in any industry can relate. But for myself, the NFL was my Plan A. So I didn't let any distractions or people or negativity or roadblocks kind of deter my dreams and my goals.
And you had those on the journey, right, to where you're at right now at this point.
Definitely, but I always seen with my 2 eyes the end of the road, and that was my Plan A.
Right.
And then staying persistent, of course, like going the long road. I didn't get drafted. I went undrafted free agent. So staying persistent, getting knocked down, getting back up, getting knocked down, getting back up. So knowing my purpose and just staying, into it and persistent, and also proving myself right. That's my third slogan, prove yourself right. I've had a lot of naysayers or coaches or people that didn't believe in me or my ability. So, I just want to prove, not necessarily prove them wrong, but proving myself right, because, I don't want to live with any regret. And I just know my ability and my talents that, I can play at this level and succeed with business, fashion, and also in being in an NFL. So, proving myself right. So those are 3 monologues that I've went with.
I can relate to that. There's a great one of the Rocky movies. Stallone is out there with his son in the alley, and his son is questioning his abilities, questioning where he came from, etc. And Stallone gives this great monologue, which talks about your second, the persistence. It's not so much that you're champion. It's not so much that you arrive ready to do what you do. It's once you step in the ring, once you step into that life journey that you have, you're going to get knocked down. And the champion is the one that just keeps getting up, because you're going to get knocked down.
Yes.
Yeah, but you keep getting up. But you keep getting up, and that's the one that wins. So that is a true absolute statement for business or anything.
Yes, and that's why I like the method, because with my motivational apparel brand, it relates to anyone in any industry. Of course, the target market is focused on a certain market, but any age, demographic, anything, people can relate.
So how's it going with this? Because it just started out.
It just started out. Honestly, so at first, one of my mentors and one of the big entrepreneur investors at Entrepreneur and also Forbes list, David Metzler, I met with him, and we did an interview as well. And we kind of I've been picking on his brain, he was picking mine. So he's been a great, influencer when we go back to the role models.
Right.
So I came out with the brand right when I signed. So the first. I signed with the Chargers on August 1st, but I came up with the brand around the top of July. So which was good is I wanted to come up with the business plan, the slogan, everything behind the scenes. So when I did get signed, I could just launch it right there.
Yeah, you could use the momentum of that activity in a positive way to help your business get some more publicity and
so the strategy was really on time. So everything went smoothly. So once I did sign, the story legitimately made sense.
Yeah.
So once that happened, then around August 22nd.
You're not just talking the talk. You're walking the walk.
Exactly.
Right.
So on August 22nd, that's when, we launched it, and it's been doing really good. And I've been getting a lot of good feedback worldwide, literally worldwide, from people who can either relate to my story or have found me as inspiration.
Now, I saw some of the stuff you put online, and how can people order some of this clothing?
Yes, so I have a website, which is mp-motivational-apparel.myshopify.com, and I also have social media outlets on Instagram and Facebook as well. My Instagram is at Marcus T. Peterson, so Marcus T as in time Peterson. So I'm very easy to find. So it's more of the story than a product that I'm selling.
Right.
So I'm very excited about this whole situation.
And how's sales going? And is it picking up?
Yes, it's going good. Like I said, it makes more sense now that when I signed with the team, a lot of people. The only thing is, when I was living overseas, I got a lot of inquiries from people in Germany, the UK, Africa, things of that nature here in the US. So it's very much of a story that needs to be told, and that is being told currently.
That's fantastic. So what kind of apparel can they buy right now? Is it just T-shirts or hats?
So we have T-shirts and crew necks and hoodies.
All right,
at
cool.
the time. So and also launching for Breast Cancer Awareness Month next month, which is going to be next week, having the messages in pink T-shirts and also in pink font.
Right.
So we're excited about that as well.
And you're going to be doing something else coming up this weekend with the Lupus Society.
Yeah, so there is a Walk with Lupus annual walk here in Los Angeles, downtown Los Angeles at LA Live, September 22nd, starting at 4:45, 5 o'clock p.m. I'll be one of the guest celebrity hosts, which as well as the Laker Girls, cast of Queen Sugar, and an actor from Equalizer 2. So I'm very excited.
Well, I got to tell you, man, I'm not out there to see you. I want to see the Laker Girls.
They'll be there with LeBron jerseys on.
Yeah, of course, right. Well, that's a good place to be, though, right? You're going to be sporting your stuff, I'm sure.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're going to have a little crew out there making sure the crowd's getting into your stuff?
It's mostly just focused on the lupus activity, but, I'll have, of course, my apparel on and just representing myself, and also a spokesman not a spokesman, but as a support for lupus as well.
So how important is this idea of giving back through these charitable organizations for you? Is this something that you grew up with?
I've always had a charitable mindset and wanting to give back ever since I was a little kid. Mm-hmm. My parents seen that in me. I've worked with My Friend's Place here in Hollywood, California, Los Angeles, Hollywood, California. So giving back is really good to me, because when people gave to me, whether it be physically, mentally, emotionally, it always reminded me to, give back to the universe, because blessings and energy is very recyclable. It's
one of the things that's plaguing a lot of American families today, and the idea of helping other people, because people seem to be so afraid and vicious today to strike out at other individuals for a number of reasons. And it seems to be something that our society has a lot of, but it lacks that one-on-one kind of feel. And I think the more that we can participate in helping those that need help, it's an important thing.
One thing I have studied when I was doing my postgraduate, and even currently as I read a lot, and, look under those successful entrepreneurs today, is a lot of they have in common is giving back.
Right.
And, helping the less fortunate or the underclass or the next generation. So that's really big in, success. You have to. This comes with the karma of, once you get that success, you have to pass it down, so it can just recycle itself.
Right. Absolutely. So what you do out there this weekend with the Lupus Society, this is a part of that program. Are you going to be contributing any monies that you'll be raising through your product line to lupus, or is it just basically a time involvement? So
I was brought the opportunity from one of my friends, and so her colleague and her boss, we got together and spoke about it as well. Mm-hmm. And so I'll definitely be giving my time, and we have a luncheon with the founders on Friday, so we'll be discussing that a little later as well. Right. But I'm very excited.
Yeah, it kind of all adds into what you're doing. It seems like you have this like triangle pattern. You've got your athletics, you've got your business, you've got your charitable activities, and it kind of all blends into each other. So it's like it's a one package.
Yes, and also about 2 weeks ago, I signed with one of the top model agencies here in Los Angeles, LA Models.
I saw that. Mm-hmm. I saw that post up, and I was going to get into that. I'm glad you brought that up. But you've always participated in the entertainment business, in that realm, in that area of the entertainment business. From what I understand, that you've always been a model, and a lot of photographs and stuff like that. So this is a great step.
Yeah, so football has definitely opened a lot of doors for me for the last, I'd say, about 7 years.
Yeah. So really are you going to be the next Mark Wallenberg and do the Calvin Klein, be Marky Mark, and then start making $20 million a picture?
I would definitely be emailing someone tonight.
Why not, man? You got the body for it. Jesus, no body fat on this young man. I'll tell you that much. Absolutely.
So I'm excited that everything that is coming with the brand and also with the agency and also football. So like you said, it's a very much of a triangle of success.
What is this focus with the modeling agency? Where do they see you placed in their client base? Doing what types
more of branding and prints.
Yeah.
Kind of having that kind of celebrity
right
mixing with, because nowadays everything is business to business, brand to brand, corporation to corporation. So you see entertainers, with sports industries,
right,
or with water or anything. So like, let's say now Puma has made a multi-million-dollar deals with a lot of the new up-and-coming basketball players.
Right.
So they're on the rise, as Nike is, the top-tier front runner.
Right.
As well as Adidas and Under Armour. So Puma is trying to make their claim to fame. So you see a lot of socialites and people of that nature being sponsors for different brands. And
I think they should use you as the Under Armour mannequin body that they send out to the sports stores, right? That mannequin, whoever posed for that mannequin, boy, I'll tell you what, man.
Yeah,
that's a big
ready.
Dude. You're there, man.
I'm ready to go.
What about like athletic wear and athletic and fitness wear and that arena of products and modeling? Is that something that you're interested in?
Yes, definitely more of the print and branding, as well as mixing brands with brands. So let's say, for instance, my brand, Motivational Apparel MP, can do a campaign with Adidas or Under Armour, anyone kind of in that same industry. So it's kind of using both ways, myself as a model and athlete, and as well as using my brand to collaborate with different brands. So
I'm telling you, you and my daughter Ryan is it's the same pattern, because she's with a modeling agency primarily for athletic modeling, athletic fitwear, because she's a professional athlete and she's got a great physical fitness to her, that fresh physical fitness look that you get when you're training all the time and you're in great condition, and as well. And it is today. It's a multifaceted career that you have. It's not just doing this. It's doing all these things to fuel what you want to accomplish. I mean, where do you see yourself a couple of years down the road here in terms of business and obviously in your athletic ability? Where do you see the next step over this next year or so? Where are you gonna be at?
Of course, still playing football. Getting more into the humanitarian roles that I have coming up, and that I've been building for the last 2 years, and also down the line more of the philanthropy. So kind of still brainstorming of which business, but more of the personal brand now.
Right.
As I, would mix my brand and also with football and kind of my youthful looks.
Yeah, well, handsome looking guy here, man. And I'm not talking about me, Jesse T. Thank you very much. Yeah. Yes, I'm talking about him. Him, this guy here, Marcus Peterson. Where do they pick up your brand material and stuff again? Give that website out, and it's a great looking logo. It's got an M and a P, and it's in this, it's encircled in this cool looking design.
Yeah. So if you can see, I have one of my T-shirts here. 100% focused on Plan A, as well as kind of the logo.
Yeah, the logo's really cool. Look at that. That's a cool. Was that your idea, or did you have a professional logo person?
Yes, actually, someone made it for me in London, so I got the copyrights from that.
It's simple, but it's memorable.
Representative, of course, Marcus Peterson.
Right.
But to support and to share and to purchase merchandise for you or your family, you can go to m-motivational-apparel.myshopify.com, as well as Instagram MP Motivational Apparel, as well as Marcus T. Peterson.
Now, I don't want to get in too much politics with you here because that's not what you're all about. But we do have a big problem with a lot of the youth in our society with these opiates and the killings and the gang warfares and all of this stuff. I mean, what in your point of view, what can we do to help kids today? The kids that are in neighborhoods that are very dangerous, these families that can't get out of these neighborhoods. What can you do and what can we do as a society that can help provide an opportunity for people that perhaps would never have it, but just go to jail?
I think, in all honesty, everything has to be solved at the root.
Mm-hmm.
So helping to find the root of how to kind of will help stop the cycle.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say, for instance, the root of behaviors. There's always an answer for actions or reactions. So helping to reach the mind in helping get peace of mind or calmness.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of a way. So the mindset is key. You can't do anything or go anywhere without your mind. So more time spending, more caring, more rapport, more support. I think that will help be the start and kind of the spark of how things will change. So I think that's what pretty much it is. More time involvement, more support, like I said, more caring.
So many of our families are broke up today. There's so many fatherless families in every part of America and in every walk of life, in every ethnic group, in every religious group, in every special interest group. There's so many fatherless families in our country today. And I've always lived by the idea that a woman can raise a boy to be a man, a good citizen, but it's very difficult for just a lady alone to raise a boy to be a real man, because it takes a man who's a good man to help raise a boy become a good man himself. I mean, what do we do about fatherless society or fatherless families today? Because I think that's one of the roots that you're talking about.
Yeah, so going back to that, there's a saying, well, if you can do the crime, you can do the time. So a lot of that is being mature and accepting responsibility. And nowadays, a lot of kids are having kids. So
yeah,
that's kind of how that cycle goes. But it doesn't have to necessarily be their biological father. There's a lot of people who've had, father figures.
A mentor image.
Mentor, yes.
Yeah.
So a lot of that is really good, especially in the schools, churches, neighborhoods, so or anywhere in the world. Once you have a father figure or vice versa, a mother figure, then that can be a very much of a helpful key to a child.
Yeah, a functioning family to raise a child, whether it's a boy or a girl, to be a good person and a successful person and have their head screwed on right. I think it takes two parents. I think it takes a man and a woman, maybe not necessarily married, but respecting each other so that each can participate in that child's life. That's something that I've always talked about and preached about. I mean, if you can't stay together, but it doesn't mean the child has to be the subject of the fight and the anger and the tearing apart. And we have to somehow get back to some basics in our society that help families raise children. Otherwise, we have a lot of lost souls out there.
Also, to piggyback off of even with that, on like you're saying, it doesn't have to probably be that biological father, that right. biological mother. But there's a lot of situations where there's the ideal family household that is a lot of dysfunction, and there's some that have a one-parent household that turn out mentally and more mature, better than the ideal family figure. So right. I don't think it's necessarily having that ideal picture-perfect family, because in a lot of those situations, can be very dysfunctional. So I just think it's more of a loving and caring from a mother or father figure, mm-hmm. and just loving and knowing yourself, finding yourself. I was blessed and fortunate to have both of my parents and being able to find myself as being an only child at an right. early age. So
right.
every story and everybody's situation is different. I just think it's having a support system. It doesn't have to necessarily be your parents. It could be a best friend.
The support system is really a good thing. That's why I think athletics for youth and children as they grow up, whether they ever become a professional athlete or get a Division I full ride scholarship or whatnot, I think athletics is really important at a young age.
Yeah, it teaches you so much discipline, teamwork, hard work, sacrifice. It's just really just like how you take math, science, history in school. I think that should be also a learning tool for children as well growing up.
When you were a kid, did you do a lot of different sports, or was it just mainly basketball? Or were you well-rounded in a lot of different things?
I started off playing baseball. Really didn't like it.
Why didn't you like baseball?
Well, it's t-ball, so I was like really young.
Yeah, you were a youngster then. Too slow for you, or what?
I don't know. Actually, it was long. Maybe it was too slow. I was trying to look at other things. I did karate.
Really?
Then I did.
How far did you go in martial arts?
I think I only did it. I think it was a yellow belt and a white belt.
All right, that's all right. Good.
So long ago, geez.
Yeah.
And then I did flag football for about a year.
Yeah.
And then I got into basketball, and then I just absolutely loved basketball.
Basketball was the thing that kind of bit you right then.
Yeah, I still love basketball. And then I got into football, like I said, later in high school, in 10th grade. So
did all those different types of sport activities?
Yeah, because they were diverse, but they were different because I made lifelong friends, or those temporary friends at the time. But it gave me like that discipline and that teamwork and the help, and also to experience different things.
Yeah, I like what LeBron James did in Cleveland. He started his own school. He put the money up to start his own school, and they built their curriculum, and I think he's supporting probably, if not maybe all those children that are going to that school in some fashion, or he's found entrepreneurs.
Every last one of them.
Yeah, he's supporting them, and I like that idea. I mean, of course, he has the financial ability to be able to do that, and the business context to help participate in that financial ability as well to make that happen. But that's an extreme example of trying to make a dynamic change.
And you can see in his career and his path, the more older that he got, the more achievements he accomplished.
Right.
The more mature he got in his life and his career.
Yeah.
It took more of an initiative.
It took him some time.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was kind of the restless kind of wild child when he first came up in, but he's matured a lot. I mean, I don't necessarily agree a lot with his politics, but I do like the things that he does in terms of giving back to the groups of people that where he grew up and where he lived, and that he can effect a change.
Yeah,
would that be cool to do someday?
Yeah.
Something like that?
Yes, definitely. Not just here in Los Angeles, but worldwide. I think I would address and tackle some situations that needed to be addressed.
Yeah, and more athletes are doing that, participating in that level, and a lot of entertainers are too as well. They're trying to get it, but I think athletes affect kids faster than entertainers do.
Yes, definitely, because those are the ones they look up to.
Yeah, they become the heroes.
Stars. Yeah.
Right. But one of the things that I like about the professional sports that they're starting to do now is they're starting to, and you alluded to this earlier, they're starting to counsel the youngsters that are coming in. The guys that have that journey, they go right from college or whatever into the NBA or into football or into not so much baseball, because not many guys go right to the major leagues. You got to go through the system.
Yeah.
But especially in football and basketball, they're getting this counseling as they come out of college, financial counseling, and social counseling and business counseling. That these enterprises are just starting to do that, and I think that's a good thing. How about you?
I think it's a good and a bad thing, because on the good part, of course, you definitely need that. On the other hand, kids that are 20, 21 years old coming out, and people they've never even heard of or spoke to, come up to them saying that they can do this for them, do that, not really building rapport, or just kind of just making a business for themselves, not really caring too much. So that's why you have to have your own mind. You have to have people you can trust, because people can really be out there and say they want the best for you and then take your money. There's been a lot of stories with athletes who, had accountants or people who misled their finances. So.
Yeah, so many of them end up, so many of these guys that get these multi-million-dollar contracts. I mean, some of them are the best of what they're doing, but yet 5 years outside of when they retire, they're broke.
See, a lot of that is self-education as well.
Yeah. Right. I mean, Mike Tyson is the perfect example. I mean, he made something like $360 million during his fighting career, and he was broke, and he's had to reinvent himself and get himself to a point where he's well off now. But he was. Can you imagine $360 million and then be broke?
No. Not at all.
I mean,
but I can't. I understand, but I can't imagine as well.
I mean, wow. So I hope that kind of stuff continues on and they get some more of that counseling, because it's you only have athletics for a short time in your career.
Only short time.
What's Football the average time for a football player?
2 to 3 year average.
Average, and. Why is
for
that?
NFL?
Is that because there's so much great talent coming up underneath you, or what contributes to just 2 or 3 years? I mean, if you're good for 2 or 3 years, why don't you get a shot for another year?
I think inside looking out now is the business side is so political. And there's so many people. Excuse me, there's 53 people on the roster, and with football, there's so many injuries.
Yeah,
so you can have 100 touchdowns one year and then get, God forbid, some type of injury, a knee injury, and then...
Well, like T.O., man, he had to have his whole ankle and knee repaired. In fact, he had stem cell surgery and stuff like that. He feels he can still play.
Yeah.
But no one's going to give him a shot.
Yeah, that's due to age. A lot of football now is age-based.
Oh, it is. There's a bias towards age.
Oh, definitely. Because, of course, the younger you are, the better you can learn and be in that system and move. You don't have those type of... injuries.
Do you think that the players today the ones that are relatively injury free, that are great players, do you think that they're going to have these longer careers like they used to have 20 years ago, or even for them the careers are going to be shorter?
I think you can, because of all the possibilities you have now.
I mean, like a Jerry
recovery.
Rice career. I mean, do you think there's somebody that can have a career like that?
Deshaun Jackson is honestly on his way. He just reached a milestone of 60 career catches he's tied Jerry Rice with touchdowns over 60 yards. So he wants to play, about 4 or 5 more years. It's just really on your not getting injured and really taking care of your body.
Yeah, and it's tough to not be injured because that game is so violent, the hitting. What about this new helmet law? I mean, that's going to help receivers.
Yeah, so any position, especially how they're targeted or hit you. So I remember in training camp having meetings, officials will come in all the time and, tell us the new rules and the fines. So,
well, explain this new helmet law to me. I mean, what is it? I still don't understand it completely.
Basically just to eliminate and to kind of cancel concussions, because that's a really big issue.
Yeah. Junior Seau, so many years after, with the PTSD aspects, that it's sort of like the same thing.
Yeah, so trying to avoid...
Are you able to hit with your helmet, or are you can't hit with it? What part of the helmet can you use now?
Now they don't want you to really use helmet to helmet. You can, of course, tackle people below the neck, but they don't want you to, use head-to-head contact.
Really? When I was playing, man, it was just head-to-head. There were no rules. I mean, it was just a different sport altogether.
Yeah, they're just, really trying to help people's safety and so people don't have those type of careers.
Right.
So I think it's a really good thing. Like I said, from looking inside out, it just makes more sense.
Right. Well, anything to stop the concussions. But football is a concussion sport. Football is a violent sport. It's a collision sport.
Yeah, we all know what we sign up for, definitely.
Yeah. I mean, and the guys are big, strong, powerful, fast, and they have hearts that don't quit.
Yeah.
They and that motivation. I mean, when you see a guy like Pat Tillman, who gave up that great career to become a United States military, and then he died in the military not too long after that. I mean, these are the kind of people that play football, that have that desire and have that heart. And it's an amazing lineage that you're a part of.
Yes, definitely.
You know, what's it like receiving a pass from one of the greatest quarterbacks? Probably going to go down in the Hall of Fame.
It's kind of interesting because the first time I caught a pass, I just caught it, and then I looked back, and I was like, oh wow, it's 17.
Yeah.
My first catch from 17. We kind of go by numbers.
Yeah.
Don't really say your name, but
well, tell everybody who that is.
That is the legendary Phillip Rivers.
That's right.
So it's really cool. It's normal because I've been involved in catching with and working out with for like 4 or 5 years with elite NFL quarterbacks, but it's just cool to be on the same team.
Right. Does the ball feel different? Does it spin different from these kind of quarterbacks?
It definitely spins different from Phillip, but it gets to you.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, yeah.
It comes at you real quick.
Yeah, you have to turn your head.
Bam, there it is.
Yeah. Because everything is timing. He's 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's really something to watch these NFL quarterbacks, isn't it?
Yeah, so
they're really smart.
They've all took me under their wing, which is really nice.
Yeah.
Travis Benjamin, Keenan Allen, Casey Hayward is really nice. Melvin Ingram.
Yeah.
I remember my first game. Melvin Gordon, the running back, came up to me, gave me some words of advice. So that was really cool.
All right, well, give out your business website so that we can get in touch with you there.
My motivational apparel brand that ignites everyone's success, wearing your struggles to ignite your success. It is mp-motivational-apparel.myspotify.com. And also my Instagram is Marcus T as in time Peterson. Again, Marcus T Peterson.
Absolutely, man, and you can follow his career on his Instagram site. That's him. That's the same guy right there. It's not me. No, it's not.
Twins.
We're twins. You see.
We're twins.
Yeah.
Can't
I be your twin?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Look,
give me some love. Yeah, there's some love there somewhere.
There it is.
I mean, we're different colors, but that's okay.
The light. If we do it this way, now.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah. You're lighting it up right now. There. Yeah. See, I can't get any darker. You can get lighter.
Yeah,
but
that's me.
I have to go out and spend some time at the beach. That's right. Marcus Peterson, everybody, on the Jesse T Show.
Thank you so much for having me again.
What a great show. How can we follow you in your NFL career? What's the best way to follow you?
I would say through my social media and also NFL transactions. But like I said, my social media, Instagram, my website, www.marcustpeterson.com. And I just have a lot of things going with LA Models, my apparel brand, and also the NFL. So stay on the lookout. I'm ready.
Follow this guy. It's a great story. He's taken that journey a roundabout way, but never gave up. That's the thing about this young man. He's never given up. And that's the key to anything. You get up every time you get knocked down. Hey, it's the Jesse T Show. We got the crazy guys coming in tomorrow. That's right. As we got the real stories. The Brown Beauty is off duty. See ya.